thing with that LST thing. That's the first time I ran across, we sailed at night, total blackout, right? And across our path came a hospital ship. Scary. It was all lit up in the middle of the night, and that was, you talk about Lingayen Gulf. I wasn't scared there. That night when that ship come through, that white ship, go away, you know. It was all lit up, and they had lights on. They sailed, a hospital ship sailed with the lights on.
The names of the United States Navy's hospital ships speak of what help their countrymen can hold out in the blackest hour of battle. Hope, mercy, solace, comfort, relief. Magic, fragrant, land of mystery and romance. Ulithi and Majuro, Los Negros and Marpak, Funafuti and Numi, Tonga Tabu and Ifati. But when the GIs arrived, the islands became something else again. A land of horseshoes and horseplay, beer and baseball, jive and jazz. And so it comes about that in 1945, the American Fifth Fleet steams in battle formation toward Japan to smother the domination which set afire the Far East. After 3.5 years of war, the long arm of Allied sea power reaches out to throttle aggression at its source. A.m., July 16, 1945, the desert of New Mexico. From a single gram of matter, man releases the explosive energy of 20,000 tons of TNT. Dawn of the atomic age.
The first target, Hiroshima. 100,000 people are killed immediately. President Truman.
Having found the bomb, we have used it. We have used it against those who attack us without warning at Pearl Harbor. We shall continue to use it. Only a Japanese surrender will stop us.
After Hiroshima, Stalin's troops joined the war against Japan. There is still no surrender. August 9th, Nagasaki. 35,000 immediate deaths. Here and in Hiroshima, thousands more will die from after effects. The bombs don't change the Japanese High Command's determination to fight on. Only the intervention of the Emperor does that.
I didn't believe it. They dropped the atomic bomb, and I said, that's a bunch of hooey. Who's going to believe that they dropped a bomb and blew up a city?
Do you remember when that, do you remember this?
Vividly, yeah.
From the battleship Missouri, the word was flashed. Ceasefire, ceasefire. The war is over. From the Missouri went Admiral Halsey's message to the fleet. Well done. Now, on September 2nd, 1945, the final act of World War II is staged on her decks. The formal surrender of the Japanese Empire to the Allied powers. On behalf of 9 Allied nations, General of the Army MacArthur directs the Japanese to sign the instrument of surrender.
Let us pray that peace be now restored to the world, and that God will preserve it always.
Darling, if you haven't seen Broadway during the victory celebrations, then you've really missed one of the most thrilling and most unbelievable sights in the world. Soldiers and sailors climbed on the hoods of passing cars, and police and MPs just stood there smiling. A sailor started after me and wouldn't give up even though I ran and ran all over the street, and finally took refuge with a cop. But when I asked him to protect me, the cop offered to kiss me too. So, unable to help myself any longer, I got kissed. Can you forgive me, sugar? It was a very disturbing experience, because I'd forgotten what it's like to be kissed.
Doris Winokur from Brooklyn.
Shortly afterwards, we went to Manila, picked up troops, and took we had some of the very first troops into Tokyo.
Allied ships sail into Tokyo Bay, the goal toward which they set their course 44 months earlier, after the attack on Pearl Harbor.
And that place was totally devastated. We sailed up, and there again I felt uncomfortable. We had a Japanese pilot. And they bring these pilots aboard, and he was, I didn't trust him.
Japanese pilots guide the Allied ships into harbor. To the 163 amphibious landings that were made in the Pacific, a final token one is added. The 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, originally wiped out at Bataan and Corregidor, reconstituted, goes ashore to test whether the Japanese will resist on their own soil, whether peace has really come. There is no resistance. The Empire of Japan surrenders fully, completely. The Allies are spared 1 million casualties.
Oh, it was beat up. Oh man, bombed out buildings. It was devastated. Yeah. And I stayed on the dock there too. I didn't trust them. There was no way in the world I was going to go on leave or go into town and fraternize or anything like that. There was no way in the world. They were them and I was me, and cats and dogs, and so we unloaded or did what we were supposed to do and got out of there. I mentioned we were in Manila. That place was beat up. It was bombed out buildings and devastation.
You never said you were in Manila.
Oh, we picked up the troops there, American troops there.
Oh, after the war.
Yeah,
after the war ended.
Yeah, after the war.
Picked them up, so you got to see some of Manila?
Oh, we ran around Manila, yeah. We were supposed to be on board the ship, and we'd crawl down the rat lines and go into town. We had rat lines, and we'd crawl into little boats, and we'd go into town, do a little drinking, a little dancing, crawl back to rat lines. And French leave, I guess they call it something.
In the Pacific, where war began for the United States and ceased for the world, the voyage home is called the Magic Carpet Run. And nothing out of the Arabian Nights is more magical for these battle-weary sailors than the prospect ahead. They're going home.
Made a couple of trips down into French Indochina, which was Vietnam. Picked up Chinese troops there. Took them up into North China, at a place called Tin Sins, about 60, 70, 80 miles from Peking, which is now Beijing. I liked that, doing a little adventure. We also hauled some people up around the Shangwan Tao, where I saw the Great Wall of China there.
The tedium of the convoy, of any convoy, the hours that drag, the interminable days. But now the undercurrent of chill and foreboding, of hostile shores and coming combat is gone. Now the ships that were built to kill and destroy become floating playgrounds, where the dirty job of war is over, and cares are cast aside.
Then we went home.
To the ports of both coasts, along the west coast, along the east coast, the ships that sailed away to war and death bring back their millions to peace and life. To these men, free men owe their victory on land, their victory in the air, their victory at sea.
It was a new world, a new chapter. In the book of life, we have different chapters. And that was the chapter after the war. We all got out and went to GI Bill and so forth, and went to schools and